All right, let's look at this think, pair, share. First, pause the video and try this on your own. But let's go ahead and try and calculate this. So we've got a jar of marbles, same composition as the previous example. You're selecting two marbles at random, one at a time, without replacement. So find the probability of getting blue on the first draw and blue on the second draw. So let's maybe take a quick look at what that would look like um, by drawing two Venn diagrams here. So this is going to be the Venn diagram for our first draw. And here's the Venn diagram for our second. Now in this problem, even though we've got red and white, we're only dealing with blue marbles. So we only need to keep track of blue marbles here. Okay. So on our first draw, what's the size of our sample space? It's going to be 4 plus 3 plus 2, which will be 9. And because this is without replacement, the sample space is going to drop from 9 down to 8. All right. Now, when we draw the first marble, how many blues do we have? So what's the order of blue? Well, we're starting with two marbles. Okay. Now, if we're looking at getting blue on the second draw, given that we got blue on the first, how many blue are we going to have left over when we go to draw the second marble? We're going to have one less, which will be 1. I draw little down arrows like that. Okay. So when we're calculating the probability of A and C, it's the probability of A, which occurs first, and then the probability of C given A occurs first. And again, we're not treating this in the traditional sense like this, which in other circumstances, it would be warranted. Okay. Instead, we're just thinking this more of a logical, common sense, sequential manner, kind of like in a special case. And so what's the probability of A going to be? It's going to be 2 over 9. And then what's the probability of getting a second blue given the first ball was blue, the first marble was blue? It's going to be 1 out of 8. So that's going to give us, let's see here, 2 can go into 8 4 times. So that'll be 1 out of 36. And let me just use my handy dandy calculator. Take 1 divided by 36. We got 0.027, and I'm going to round because it's 7 repeating. Just going to round that to 8. So it's going to be move the decimal place over 2, 2.78%. So that's the probability of getting two blue marbles in a row without replacement. And I guess, it would be instructive to see what the difference would be if it was with replacement. So what if we had taken a blue marble out on the first, but we put it back in? What's the probability of getting two blue marbles in a row? Well, because now it's with replacement, they're independent events. They don't affect each other. So it's just going to be the probability of A times the probability of C. And the probability of A is 2 over 9. And guess what? Because we are doing it with replacement, the number of blue marbles doesn't drop down like it did before. There's going to be 2. And because we put the marble back, the total number of marbles in the bag is not going to drop down by 1. It's going to stay the same. So that's going to give us, 4 out of 81? And that comes out to 0.04, I'm going to round, 94, which is 4.94%. And that's with replacement. So you can see you have a better chance, almost a doubling of your probability of getting 2 blue marbles if the first marble you drew was a blue and you put it back in again. That makes sense because you're putting that blue back in to get chosen again. When we had without replacement and the first marble that you drew was blue, you don't have a second chance of pulling that blue marble out again. You're taking it out of the bag. So it's going to make it a little harder. Okay. So I think that was instructive in this example to kind of show the difference between those two. And I hope that these visuals here using Venn diagrams is helping you make this picture in your mind, helping you develop that skill of making this picture in your mind, of this circumstance. Maybe you didn't do that at the beginning. You couldn't see it. That's okay. That's why you're here, is to learn how to do this. But maybe now by seeing it and seeing it played out, that'll help develop that skill in you. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.